Last week on Squawk Box, Blackstone's chairman and CEO Steve Schwarzman outlined what he called a Marshall Plan to address income inequality in the United States.
We should make teachers pay no tax. I think teachers is where the key is, and we have to address getting the best people. And it's not just money. And you can see from these strikes, people don't have enough money. But we also have to make teachers a special class in our society.
Joining us right now, former U.S. Senator Evan Bayh. Evan, I've sort of struggled with this because I love the idea of it in theory, but then the second he got off the air, when Schwarzman got off the air, we started getting tweets from people and emails from people. What about police? What about firemen? What about doctors? What about nurses in this country? So what do you do?
Well, also, what about our men and women who serve in the military, Andrew? So it's a good idea. We need to attract the best people into teaching. Money is a part of that. But if that's all you do, it's not going to have much impact in the short or long term. I mean, another way to put it is if you just pay more to the same people to do the same thing, the same amount of time, it's probably not going to change a whole lot. The workforce will turn over in the long run. But you also need to look at high academic standards that reflect the realities of the marketplace. It's number one. Number two, a system of assessments. That's a fancy way of saying tests that are authentic tests that measure how individual kids are doing. And then third and most important, you need a system of remediation to take kids who need to do better toward meeting those high standards and get them there. You need to do all those things as well.
Hey, Senator, though, how much of this is about what states we're talking about? Because, you know, as I went through the list, New York, for example, second highest payer in the country, you can get paid $73,000 on average as a school teacher. In Florida, by the way, we had Senator Rick Scott on last week where he was saying, you know, we should lower taxes. In Florida, it's $47,000.
Yeah, but the cost of living here is so much higher.
Well, then this becomes the question, though. And then, by the way, you go far. You can even go farther down. You go to Virginia or you go to Oklahoma, and you're getting paid $41,000. And you could say there's a cost of living issue, but even with the cost of living, I would argue that there's an issue.
There are also pensions, though. There are teachers receive public pensions, which is a not insignificant part of a long-term compensation, I would argue. But
well, you get all those issues, and I'm glad you mentioned the respective states because your viewers may be surprised to know that the percentage of the federal budget that goes to education is maybe 2%, maybe 3%, something like that. When I was governor of my state for 8 years, it was 55, 60%. So really, it's the state and local communities that take the lead here. And so if you make the income tax free, you may go to go from on an after-tax basis. Let's say in New York, you were saying you may go from $55,000 up to that full average of 75. That will, at the margins, attract perhaps a better caliber of people, but it takes a long time for that to have an impact. And if that's all you do without the academic standards, the assessments, and the remedial efforts, you're just not going to move the needle a whole lot.
How about, by the way, how about school choice? If we're really worried about ultimately, I think this is one of the frustrations. I think that average people like myself, both my parents were teachers, by the way, is that it seems to me most of the discussions are around what's best for the teachers as opposed to what's best for the kids.
I think that's to Evan's point.
I think I understand that, but school choice, it seems to me, would be one of the primary focuses of that.
Senator, I want to let you answer, but I'm going to have to invite you back to provide the answer because they're playing the music for us right now. It is a longer conversation. It's a good one as well, and we plan to do it with you soon.
Ask me back, Andrew, and I'll come.
You bet.